Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly wave. Just so you know, when we go through the slides, I want you to know if you have questions, please unmute yourself and ask your question. It makes it easier than trying to keep up with the chat. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we're going to start in the same place we do each week, and that's accountability reporting. And as always, well, not always, but currently open is the chronic absentee medical exemption window. It will close on June 30th of 2023. It's going to be open through the entire year. There is webinar training provided by the Office of Accountability throughout the year. The next training session, though, oh darn, it was the 24th. Sorry, I should have taken that off. Hope you were able to partake in that if last Tuesday. Next one that's available, I'll post on our next slide and we can cover that. On that particular exemption window, please know there are three components that your district will need to have: a local exemption committee, a site user, and a district admin user. They all have different functionality, and your site and district admin user cannot be the same person. So be sure that you have that set up at your district. Also, in accountability reporting, your CVR window is still open and will be open through the 31st of January, as well as your 2022 graduation window opened on the 24th this week and will close on February 7th. If you have questions about the grad window, you can contact Jonathan Yoon at sde.ok.gov, and that's jonathan.yoon@sde.ok.gov, or Shumi Siway at shumi.siway@sde.ok.gov, or you can email someone in accountability at sde.ok.gov and they will respond to you as well. Next slide is the dropout report. That window has closed. But if you have 2023 students with the incorrect exit codes that are at risk of being categorized as dropouts for the school year of 2022, these would be students that began the school year in 2023, 22-23 school year, but were in the membership status at the close of the dropout reporting window on September 30th of 2022. So like if that student transferred out of state or went to homeschooling, private school transfers, since they're current year students, you can go into your local SIS and make those exit code updates, and it will correct that. So be sure that you're looking at that to make sure that any student that left for one of these reasons has the proper exit code. And if you need help with those exit codes, you can contact us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov, or you can contact accountability reporting as well. Also, now is the time to be reviewing your post-secondary coursework credits. You should have grades that have posted from your first semester. So be sure that you're checking to ensure that the grades are showing up correctly and they're showing post-secondary credits. The ones that you'll currently see right now are going to be your college credits or any kind of internship that would show that the student did get credit for the first semester. So go in and check that. We've added a new conflict on the conflict tab. It's under school data conflict. It has to do with your, I do this every time, the reasons. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. I forgot what the reason was, but make sure you look at those, because if there's any conflicts for that needs to be corrected. If you have any questions in regards to these, please contact myself at nancy.flores@sde.ok.gov, or you can contact june.jared@sde.ok.gov. We'd be more than happy to look at how it's being reflected in that tool and see if there's any updates or changes that need to be made on your end. And anytime that a new reporting window is announced, you should get notification through your Gov delivery. And if you have questions about any of the stuff in accountability reporting, you can email accountability@sde.ok.gov. Does anybody have any questions about accountability reporting at this time?
Yes,
Hi,
I
Nancy.
do. Oh,
No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Nancy, this is Jennifer with Noble Schools. I just was letting you know that ours was still not working. So
Okay.
I don't know if you or June have time to reach out today or
I
look
will.
at that further.
Yes, I can give you a call later on today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jennifer.
It's Teresa at Fairview Schools. So our college classes are showing up as post-secondary courses and post-secondary eligible. But our VOTEC classes are only showing as post-secondary courses. It's not showing eligible
Okay.
or credit eligible.
Teresa, I'll take a look at that and I'll get back with you and we'll see what we need to do to make sure it's showing up correctly.
Teresa, this is June. I've got a question for you. Are your VOTEC classes showing 1 grade?
Yes, just for the
Okay.
semester.
So they will not have a Y in that credit earned at the very last column until both grades are in place. And you won't see that till the end of the 2nd semester.
Okay, and is that the same with our AP classes?
Yes.
Yes.
Because those are full, those need to be for a full year. So they need to have 2 grades. But what you're seeing is, yes, your grade is coming through as expected. So as long as your grade is coming through for that 2nd semester, you should be in good shape.
Okay, but we won't know that until it shows up.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So it does show the Y though in post-secondary credit though, right? But just not.
It shows as a post-secondary course.
Okay,
It just does not show up as post-secondary credit eligible.
okay,
Because the course will qualify for course credit, but the credit is not earned until all the criteria is met.
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else?
Hi, this is Jennifer from Jinx. I have a question just referring to the dropout report.
Okay,
I realize that it's closed. However, I was wondering if it would be possible for somehow the State Department could allow districts to have access to the students who have been awarded a GED. Because we have spent lots of time going after talking with our students to get them to those that met that criteria to bring them in. And some of them didn't bring them in until after the window closed. And so I was just wondering if that was possible, since it's a state generated diploma, if there's some way that could be earmarked somewhere. So in the future, we won't have to rely on students bringing in a copy of that and we can just access state records.
So Jennifer, if I understand what you're asking, are you wanting to know if there's a way that the state can capture that information prior to, I'm sorry?
Either that or some way have a place for us to go just to verify if a student does have one. So we don't have, because our concern is we're having students that we're having to report as dropout that really aren't, because we've asked them to bring in a copy of their diploma, but it takes too long. But since we know the state of Oklahoma, they know they've already awarded it to them. Is there just someone we can call and verify with?
You know, I'm not aware that there is, but if you would reach out to accountability and ask them, because that's not a state-run program and we don't collect that information from them. But that's a really good question. You might want to just send an email to accountability and include myself in that, and we'll follow up and see what can be done.
Okay, thank you.
does anybody have any other questions? Okay, I did find out the conflict on the school data tab. It is mainly an instructional level code. So if your courses are not coded correctly, you will have a conflict there. So be sure that you're checking that. There's no other questions. I'm gonna move on. Okay, next slide is in reference to counseling and the graduation part-time enrollment report for Q2. The due date on that has changed to February 10th. So I just wanted everyone to have a heads up on that. So you have a few more weeks to gather that information. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Move on to P-EBT. So the training is still out there. If you haven't taken it and addressed your P-EBT issues, you can do so at OSDE Connect. You will have to have an SDE Canvas account, and I know a lot of schools use Canvas, but you'll have to sign up for a State Department Canvas account. And if you'll have to provide your email so we can validate you and set up your login credentials so you can be enrolled in this particular course. Once you're enrolled, it does look like this. And the training itself, it's broken into modules, and it's very easily to go through. It's very nicely done. It's in-depth training that can tell you how a student actually qualifies for P-EBT. And there is a training section in there for DVR process, which, you know, that window is currently open, and it's closer to the end of the module. You're able to stop and start the course as you need to. So if you're interrupted, you can click stop, and then you can go back into the link and return to where you were in the training. So it keeps track of where you're at, which is nice, since you know, we're all busy and get pulled away from what we're doing. So be sure that you've done that. As far as the DVR window, it does close next week on the 31st. So be sure that you've got your DVR submitted. Make sure you're putting them under the correct category and the correct year. Now, there are 4 different types of DVRs that can be entered in for the P-EBT. If you have a school calendar date, that is going to represent your whole district or a whole entire site for a day that was coded wrong. You'll put that under that section. Student attendance is in relation to one student, if it's a single or multiple days that were coded wrong. Student enrollment, it affects the entire enrollment, changing from like a resident to RV on or RV off, or and then there's student school, which has to do with their free and reduced status. So just make sure that they're entered under the right category and the right year. Next slide is if you're wanting to add your name for notification purposes to the list for the next round of P-EBT issues for 2022, please send Shannon Nakvita at sde.ok.gov an email with your district name and your district email address, and she can add you to that notification process. A call we had a couple weeks ago, apparently the people that are working those issues weren't notified right away, so it kind of delayed their ability to start putting in and working those DVRs. So if you're one of those that needs to be notified, please send an email to Shannon. Anybody have any questions about P-EBT? Okay, we are working those DVRs as quickly as possible, so be sure yours are submitted by that close date. Okay. If your district is changing SIS vendors for 23-24, please send an email to studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov. Let us know who you currently have and who you're moving to. There are some components that we need to make sure that are captured when the change is made, so you're not burdened with having to go in and touch every student with a state testing number to make sure that they're resolved to your district. So, I mean, that's really an important process and steps, because it does create a lot of work when that's not done properly. Anybody have any questions about changing your SIS vendors? Okay, well, that's all I have for today. Always remember, if you have questions, you can email us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov, or we have a wide variety of resources on the State Department website under student information, documents, and guides that you can access at any time. Other than that, I have nothing. I will open it up for questions and we'll address any questions you might have.
Nancy, this is Amanda Davis Summers. Is it correct that the PK3 basis of admission, it keeps them active, they can get an STM, but it won't pull into like attendance reports and things like that for the statistical summaries?
Yes, it doesn't. It
Okay.
does. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
No, you're right, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
You're right.
awesome. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Melvin, she said, Melva is not seeing the PBT tab as an option in the state logon page. It's going to be, Melva, under your accountability reporting. And it doesn't, I don't think it specifies P-EBT either. You'll have to look at each student and there's a PBET kind of column. That
In
you'll,
accountability at the student data level, select the student tab, and that's where all the PBT information will be located.
and you're going to want to look at 2021. Currently, Darla, right now we're working on 2021. And then once we've completed that, we'll open it up for 2022. Okay, Leslie. Let's see. Accountability report, it is showing a DVR plus tab under ACOM column. It seems to be that all your IEP 504 students, however, you don't have any conflicts listed. Is this something I need to be concerned with? Leslie, I'll have to look at that and get back with you because I'm not sure what the ACOM column is. June, do you know by chance?
I didn't catch that whole thing. Which question are you reading?
Leslie Davy.
Is it accommodations?
It might be.
Leslie, get with one of us afterwards where we can look at that with you and just see exactly what it is you're looking at.
Amanda, I have not had any word that the CRDC has opened yet. And Darla, I don't know if this is the final year for P-EBT. At this time.
Nancy, this is Jennifer with another quick question.
Uh-huh.
I was asking in regards to at one of the previous meetings, they had indicated that the 2022 graduation DVR window would open January 24th, but that data doesn't seem like it's in place yet. Has that start date been pushed off?
Not to my knowledge. That was the information that was provided to me.
Okay, because yeah, it says it opens January 24th through February 7th, but when we went into accountability to start working on it, 2022 students weren't available, just 2021.
Okay, I can check on that, Jennifer, and get back to you. Now you're at Jinx, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, Teresa, your understanding from the child nutrition Zoom that they said they thought they will not be doing PBET this year. And of course, that could change. Thank you for sharing that, Teresa. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? And hopefully I've answered everyone's question. If I haven't, please let me know. Leslie, can you tell me what district you're with?
Nancy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I am with Verdigris School District.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
All right, if no one else has any questions, we're going to go ahead and end it for today. I appreciate everyone's participation, and I've got some follow-ups on to a couple of people. So everyone have a great rest of your day and a great weekend, and we'll visit again next Thursday. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording too. So if someone just doesn't want to speak on